All right, in this video, I'm going to go over how to get into the practice test for the state test at the end of the year. You can access this at home and practice at home as well, but we're going to practice today. So if you're in your Google Classroom and you go to the About tab, you click on the About tab, and at the top, there is a link that says CASSPP, and this is actually the little acronym for the California State Test. Okay, so we click on the link, and it takes us here, and we're going to be signing in as a guest. So you're not going to need any ID numbers or anything like that. This is just a practice. So you just click sign in. Select your grade. We're in 6th grade, so you'll select 6th grade. Then you'll hit yes for the next step. And then you have a choice of some tests you can take. So Smarter Balance Practice Test. We have the ELA practice test, the performance task practice, the math practice test, and the math performance task practice. And then we also have Smarter Balance Training Test, and this is for 6th through 8th grade ELA and 6th through 8th grade Math Training Test. Okay. So today, I want you guys to take the ELA Performance Task Practice. So you're going to click on this one once you're done watching this video. Okay, now once you click on that, there's a lot of different choices here. I want you to leave all these choices alone. Don't click on any of these, okay? You don't need to. Then you're going to click select. Again, you scroll down, click yes. And then you're going to want to make sure your headphones are on and click this little icon. It'll play a sound. And then you click if you heard the sound, which if you have your headphones in, you'll all hear it as long as your volume is also turned on. So I heard the sound. Don't worry about any of this stuff. Just begin test. Once you've begun the test, it will look just like this. And I just want to go over some of the different buttons you can use. So obviously, this is the back button. To go on to the next question, you click next to save your work up into that point. Save. This is obviously the pause button to pause your test if you happen to need to leave, go to the restroom, things like that. You may want to pause it. You can take notes. So if I click on this, there's a little notepad, so I can take any notes that I want. And then I can save and close those notes, and I can bring them back anytime I want. So for example, I may want to say, check problem 1, for example, save and close. So that way at the end of the test, I can check my notes and go, yeah, I want to go back and look at problem 1. Zoom in and zoom out. So obviously that makes the text larger. Okay, zoom out obviously makes the text smaller. Okay, you have a couple of different icons here as well. So if I click these 2 arrows, that makes the reading portion full screen. So you may want to do this for your first reading. For your first read through, make it full screen. That way you can see exactly what you're reading. Sometimes it can be hard when you got just a little screen like this. Then you have your 3 lines. Highlight selection, so you can highlight different things. Task, your school writing club is holding a short story contest about the great outdoors. You've often thought about hiking and you wonder what it would be like in the Grand Canyon National Park. You decide to do more research about hiking. As part of your initial research, you find sources about the Grand Canyon. After you have reviewed these sources, Okay, directions. You will now examine several sources. You can re-examine any of the sources as you like. research questions. So again, as you're going through reading these sources, you may want to highlight information. Okay. So I click on highlight this sentence. I want to remember that. Highlight selection, and now it's highlighted. Okay. Let's see. At a certain point, going 50 miles per hour, maybe I want to remember that the water runs 50 miles per hour, so I highlight and then I click highlight the selection. And then that'll save your highlights. Okay. And same thing over here. If there's something, okay, I want 2 pieces of evidence, I need to remember that. I want to find the most relevant source, so maybe I want to highlight that. All right, so again, you're going to read. There's a lot of text to read. So again, I would probably make it full screen. You're highlighting as you go the important text, and then click the arrows again to make it smaller. And you're going through answering these questions, and you may want to highlight. Again, right here, for example, provide 2 pieces of evidence. Well, I want to make sure I remember that I make sure I use 2 pieces of evidence. And then here it says 1 piece of evidence from each of the 2 different sources. So again, that is important information. I want to make sure I include that in my answer. Okay, and there's more information as well. I'm just giving you some examples. Okay, down here you're clicking in the boxes. It is a good idea to bring food when you hike. Does it mention that in source 1, source 2, source 3, or source 4? So it may talk about this in all of them. I don't know. I haven't read the sources yet. So you may end up clicking, yeah, all the sources say it's a good idea to bring food with you. So if that's the case, you click them all. Next one, try to conserve water while you are in the park. Maybe just source 2 and source 3 mentioned conserving water while you're in the park, so you'd only click those ones. And then primarily 3 types of rock make up the Grand Canyon. Maybe only one of those sources mentioned the 3 types of rock that make up the Grand Canyon. So you would only click, oh yeah, that was only mentioned in source 4, so you'd click here. Okay. All right, I'm just going to put some letters in here to move on. Once I'm done, I've done all my reading, I've answered my questions, I go ahead and click next. And that's it. Now you'll notice, so it says, click on a number question to review it. You'll not be able to come back later, so this is a chance to review question 1, 2, or 3. I say, you know what, I'm done. I click next. You are leaving the current segment. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, this is only if you're completely finished. Okay, and now you're on to the next section. Okay, now you'll notice you have some different buttons in this section. A lot of them are the same. You have the same buttons here, you have the same buttons here, but you now also have a dictionary. Okay, so you have a dictionary that you can use to look up words. If you see a word you don't recognize, you can type it in, look up the meaning. You also have a thesaurus. So this is a good opportunity to vary your sentences. So if you continue to use the word good, 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 good over and over again in your writing, just type in that word good that you're repeating, thesaurus, and then you come up with some synonyms. Okay, decent, but make sure not all of the synonyms will work. It depends on how you're using the word good. Okay, but this is another tool you can use, okay, to change up or vary your writing, and also to help you comprehend what you're reading, because if you come across a word you don't know, just type in that word, or let's see if our copy and paste will work. Kind of doubt it will, but let's see. Yeah, it won't work, so you'll have to just pull up this box, and I can move the box anywhere I want, so I can move it out of the way of the word that I'm looking up. So I can see the word and then type it in here and then click dictionary to find what that word means. Or if you have a word that you're repeating over and over again and you want to vary your writing, type that word in here and click Thesaurus, and it will give you some ideas of some different words or related words that you may want to use instead. Okay. And again, you have notes and zoom in and zoom out. You have the arrows again to make it full screen. And notice there's your highlighting from the last section. It's still saved with it. So that's why it's going to be important to highlight, because that information doesn't change. But what does change is your task. So you see these are all your directions. Now you're going to be writing a narrative, meaning you're going to be writing a story. And you have to read the directions carefully, highlight the directions if you need to. Okay. And then you're coming down here and you're writing. Okay. You have plenty of space, as much space as you need. All right, I'm just going to put a letter so I can move on. So I hit next. You've reached the end of the test, so that's it. If we're done, we hit OK. And it says, please submit the test when you have finished. I hit end test. Are you sure? See, notice it asks you multiple times. Are you sure? Are you positive? Anything else you want to do? Only go on if you're absolutely sure you've done your best work. I hit yes. Congratulations, you have reached. Again, making sure you're done. And if you need to review your answers, select the question you wish to review. A flag icon appears for any questions so I can go back still and check questions. But if you're absolutely positive you're done, submit. Are you sure? Notice it keeps asking you again and again. Are you positive? Are you sure you want to go on? Are you sure you're done with the test? Nothing else you want to correct. If that's true, then yes again. Now you're done. Your test was submitted, and you log out. All right. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.